to collecting a lot more information about the direction of schools. And part of this grant, this study, also requires the Navajo Nation to take a look at themselves internally, because it's been pointed out repeatedly that the Navajo Nation itself is not perfect. The Navajo Nation has all these issues, they can't get their act together, et cetera, et cetera. And we also realize this because a part of the study also requires us to take a step back and take a look at how the nation operates internally so that we can also work better on behalf of schools and students. And with the nation, we have a couple things that really hold up the whole process in terms of personnel with processing payments, finance, and so on. And it's all, it gets caught up in that mess. And so part of the plan for it is how do we get out of this to think creatively? Knowing that we know what the problems are, the challenges that we face, how do we overcome those instead of just saying complain, 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 and just fuss with the same thing? It's how do we solve problems? And this is part of one of the proposed plans is to move the education system into a separate entity outside the tribe, so it doesn't have to go through all of this. Because if you deal with Head Start gets stuck in here, and they have to deal with this cumbersome mess, and that's going to be up to our council to hopefully solve so we can move things forward. So the plan, at least right now, at least to try to think conceptually, is given that we have a lot of challenges that require amending Title II, Title 11, Title 10, etc., is like one entity is to pull it out and have it be off on its own, so it doesn't get tangled up in this. So that's one of the ideas and solutions that has come out of this whole process. So it's trying to think outside the box. And that's trying to summarize a half-day presentation in a couple minutes.
Yeah, Matt, I have a question. I was just wondering why you use Newcomb School. Is it because you're a school board member over there? You're using Newcomb School as one of your schools, saying my school is better than yours? I mean, are you going to be doing that in the next 2 years when, I know you're not running now, you withdrew yourself, so you're using some stuff that's from Newcomb here. And what about all your other schools? You should compare it with that too. You're just picking one of the best ones. And all of these test scores are, to me, it's inaccurate.
Why is that?
They're using the same thing over and over every presentation you have done.
This is the
It's
same
always,
system that's taken by these
You know,
students.
look at the years on some of those, and you know, this is the first one that I see in 2013 and 14. The other ones are all back from 9 and 10. So to me, it's like all we're looking at is performance. That if you guys take over, the Navajo Nation takes over all these schools, and looking at the BIE operators, the BIE fell before with all the testing that have, you know, they provided. And you're picking up all these BIE operated schools saying you're going to go with that first. If that happens, you don't have no goal when your turnaround is. How are you going to improve? That's what we need to know. How much time are you going to give? That's my question, but nobody answered it. How much time are we giving them? Just like AYP saying you guys can make AYP. The Washington, you know, No Child Left Behind put 4 years. And how much of that was met in the 4 years? 2014 was the last year. So on your information that you provided, there's no goal that you guys have. When are you going to turn it around? As soon as you take over, the next day, are the kids going to be performing up at 100%? Is that what you guys are trying to do? That's where we don't know. Because right now, you're comparing all these, you know, graphs that you see here. To me, I mean, what's a graph? That's like what Stanley said. That's Beleganawe right there. But we need to know where our Navajo graphs are at. Because every time you look at it, see, like right here, we're looking at 2001 to 2010. But we're not looking at beyond that.
I
So
think,
every graph that you provide to any presentation that you have is always the same one. It's always the negative graph that you see. We never see the positive side because according to your statistic that you gave out, some of the schools met AYP and some of them are performing, but you're saying all these schools are shooting down. maybe 10 BIE operated to 5 grant. Your statistics should be 10 to 10 instead of 10 to 5, and you're judging it by that. I think your graph is way off by doing that.
Then why don't you come up with different numbers, so that their numbers come from the schools directly?
Well, I'm looking at yours. I don't have a graph. I'm looking at yours. I'm comparing what I know to what you have up there. To me, that's inaccurate.
That's as far as data is concerned, as far as the picture that it's painted and what it is. But this is what we have, and this is confirmed by BIE. But their data and our data is pretty much the same. But I think A by Yatio, A Johnson. And they take over that charge. The push it off, I got to push it off, I got to push it off. I don't need it, I quite in That's where we need to work together. You need to help us out. That's where you need to help us out. So just stay to a year, but that's not clear. I don't need what that BIA grad schools. They don't start on need what that you need to call. They don't over test none. So is he not you see school of Nazani to aid that we need their help. Is she the deep don't they not but I don't just not how they
Your accountability workbook,
So-
the one that was approved, all of that accountability workbook, the one you have, what's stated in there is just a copy from the No Child Left Behind, the AYP, so if you look at it, if you wanted to, you could have put 4 years with your timeline, but you did none of that, so ADD, I think, so maybe you guys need to get together, give us a timeline, when our kids are gonna be performing at 100% across Navajo, all 66 schools, your ADD, I think.
They understand the duplicate media. They don't jump up behind the fence. Only negotiable, non-negotiable. Quite in general, it's not negotiable. Some of these variables, like reading, don't math, they're non-negotiable. Are they based on the data? Those are non-negotiable. So they're non-negotiable. Graduation rate, high school, graduation rate, junior high. See, those are negotiable. ADM, some of those 96 to 98, those are negotiable. Attendance, non-negotiable. So so you know get why you clean up the house, I don't just call in mini form then. I don't that the next one was Harvey, the next one is January 29th. Shiprock. And then we have two, then
February 17th.
February 17th. Is she added? Another idea. Is she newspaper being added?